teammate. This is Deanne here with another Hockey Parenting 101 video. Today's video, I'm going to talk about the importance of ensuring that your kid, your son or daughter, your youth hockey player that you're going to the rink with every day is always coachable and a good teammate. A good teammate and coachable and ready to improve, ready to try to be the best hockey player they can be. Not the best goal scorer, not the best player on the team, but the best player that they can be, and the most that they can get out of it in the season is skill development and hockey sense development. And it's so important that's the focus for you and your child when they're going to the rink every day. I don't know if you've heard of a gentleman by the name of Jordan Peterson. He's from Canada. He's a clinical psychologist, and if you've heard of him, you might have differing opinions about some of the things that he talks about and his opinions on things. But he has a great video, and you can find it on YouTube, about kids and the importance of play, the importance of a kid getting out there and interacting with his or her peers on the playground, anything. And because he's Canadian, he gives a couple hockey stories in there about it. But really, he talks about the importance of your kid being a good playmate, in our case for hockey, a good teammate, someone who other kids are going to want to play with. Because that not only is that important, it's important for the team cohesion, but it's also important for your child, because if other kids don't want to play with your child, then they're missing out. So the last thing you want your kid doing is coming in and being arrogant, not wanting to share the puck, wanting to skate with it all the time on the ice, wanting to score at all costs. They really have to focus on being a good teammate. Another thing that goes into that is if they're very selfish and very, just worried about what they're getting out there and not listening to the coaches and that kind of stuff, they're not only not going to be approachable from other kids, but their coaches are also going to, you'll notice if a kid's out there and they're not listening, they don't get the attention that they probably need. So they're going to miss out on that in practice, especially on skill development and hockey sense development and all that development. So it shouldn't be about scoring goals every year. It shouldn't be about winning, to be honest with you. Winning is important. Being competitive is important. Winning is not. If you lose, but you're being competitive and the game's close and you learned a lot and you had a great game, you took some lessons learned out of it and you had fun, that should be the goal. It shouldn't be about whether or not you won the game. It definitely shouldn't be about whether or not you got a hat trick or you scored multiple goals. My son was on a team, I think when he was 10 in Canada, and the mom for one of his teammates would give him $1 for every goal scored. So guess what he did every game? He would try to score, no matter what. He would go end to end, trying to go through 5 other players, whatever it takes to get that $1. So guess what? He didn't get a lot of money because the way he was approaching it was wrong. And the kids didn't want to play with him because that's all he wanted to do was score, because his mom was incentivizing him to try to score goals. I incentivized my daughter, not that I've given her money or anything, but I told her, get assists. Because I can tell you what, if you end up with a bunch of assists in a game, you were looking for other teammates to pass to. You were trying to make hockey plays probably. So I think that assists are not more important, but more impressive than scoring a lot of goals, to be honest with you, because you're trying to get your whole team involved. So I'm really, 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 please do not incentivize your kid to score goals, because they're probably going to make dumb hockey plays trying to do it. Even on my daughter's team now, I'm constantly having to tell the kids, because they want to play 3-on-3 street hockey out there. They're trying to go through multiple kids instead of making a smart hockey play like at the blue line. Instead of, there's like 2 players that they got to go through, they try to skate through both of them. They could dump and chase it. And they don't want to do that because if I dump and chase it, then I can't go straight to the net with it. Well, you weren't going to get to the net with it anyway because you're going to have to go through 2 or 3 players, and you're not Connor McDavid. So try to make this, try to help your child understand that. Please don't incentivize them to do silly things. It's going to make them better players in the long run if they're constantly working on skill development, constantly being a good teammate, a good coachable kid out there. They're going to improve over the season, and it's going to be more important than their stat sheet because nobody gives a crap about a youth player's stat sheet. Unless you're like playing juniors or you're like playing AAA, then there might be somebody that cares. But at that, yeah. So for your youth player, you should not be caring about what's on their stat sheet. You should be caring about, did they improve? Did they learn some lessons in a game? Did they learn lessons at practice? Did they figure out some weakness in their game that they're working on, that they're starting to improve? That's what should matter. You want your kid to be a good teammate and play the game of hockey the right way. Don't allow it to go be goals. They're not going to develop if they're just scoring all the time. That's another thing. Like if they're on a team that they shouldn't be on, you should try to get them to where they're having to struggle to make plays. You don't want them to be just like, oh, look Johnny, he's got 5 goals this game, but he's an A player playing on a house team. That's not doing anybody any good. It should not be about winning. It should be about skills and hockey sense development. So I hope that makes sense. Like I said, Jordan Peterson's got a great video on kids playing and the importance of play, and the importance of being a good, somebody that other kids want to play with. That should be the goal as your youth player is coming up. Appreciate you watching the video. Hopefully you're enjoying the videos. If you have any suggestions on videos you want me to do, please let me know. Please hit subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll be back with you next week for another Hockey Parenting 101 video. Crisis DN out.